Okay, so today's Tanya today is the 4th of Iyar. The Tanya of today is basically based on the Tanya of yesterday. So yesterday we discussed two kinds of loves for Hashem. You have a love for Hashem which is called v'nafshi v'sicha, that you love Hashem because Hashem is your soul. So just like you love your own soul and you want to have um, your energy, so too you love Hashem because Hashem is your energy. He is your soul. Then um, the other kind of love is an even deeper love. It's like Hashem is your father. So sometimes a child will give their life for their father. In other words, they love their parent even more than they love themselves. It's like an honor to be with this person. And this is kind of love that we have for Hashem, a tremendous yearning and a love for Hashem, which is just extraordinary. Now, the Alter Rebbe says, okay, what happens, and this is a very interesting concept, what happens if this love is actually fleeting? He calls it like not a real love. Why? Because something that's real is something that's permanent. So what happens if this love comes and goes? You know, today I woke up, I thought about it, how Hashem is my father and I have such a love, and then the next minute I'm eating cheesecake and I love the cheesecake like with a beautiful gusto, you know? So does that mean that this whole thing is a fantasy and the love isn't that real? In fact, Alter Rebbe was very into the idea of truth. We know that it says that if the Alter Rebbe had not put in 3 words in the Tanya, which is Sfas Emes Tikoin, then he could have had 50,000 more Hasidim. So the answer to that is that even though this love may be fleeting, nevertheless, the fact of the matter is, if it leads you to the right result, it is good enough. And what is the right result? That comes all the times. Alter Rebbe always speaks about this concept of Ratzoi V'Shuv. Now, what is Ratzoi V'Shuv? So it says in Sefer Yetzirah, one of the first books of Kabbalah, one of the first Jewish books, if not the first Jewish book written by Avraham Avinu, it says, Im Ratz Libcha Shuv Le'echad. If your heart runs, you should return to oneness, or to return to one. What is that one? That one is your mission in this world, right? We say Hashem Echad, Hashem is one. So why do we say Echad? Why don't we say that Hashem is the only? Because the point is that Hashem wants to be with you here. He wants you, and we all have a part and a mission to do in this world. So what the Tanya is teaching us is that as long as the love for Hashem is going to bring you to the action of doing the will of Hashem, then it's the right love. It doesn't matter if it's going to come and go. In fact, practically speaking, you can't always be conscious of your love for Hashem. Because sometimes what you need to be conscious of, if you're studying Torah, you have to be conscious of, the law that you're studying. You have to be conscious of the mitzvah that you have to do. And so that's the whole structure of Judaism. You have times in which you are going to be meditating. Davening is a time of higher consciousness, higher elevation, thinking about Hashem, motivating love. And then you have the drive to implement that during the day. And the story is that we also find this in other chapters of Tanya. I think soon the Alter Rebbe is going to go in much, much greater detail. But basically, we also find that the idea of love and fear are like wings. So a little bird can travel on its little feet, but it can't fly without wings. Now, there are many things that manage on their feet, but still wings are an amazing experience. The other night I had a dream of flying. It's like, wow, it's amazing. So when we do a mitzvah with wings, what does that mean? Love and fear are like the 2 wings. It means that the mitzvah is able to go into the higher realm. Because a person that just does a mitzvah in the world of a sea is just action without any motivation, without any love or fear of Hashem. So what's going to happen is they're going to kind of have the mitzvah stuck in this realm or the first world of Asiya. But if they have love and fear of Hashem that motivates it, then it goes to the world of Yetzirah. Now, depending on the type of love and fear, it can even go to the world of Bria. So point is that as long as your love and fear are going to lead to action, it's good enough. Number two, not only is that such a great thing that love and fear leads to action, but because you did a mitzvah motivated by love and fear of Hashem, therefore it's going to elevate into the higher realms, the higher spiritual realms. It will be wings and it will take the mitzvah up. And yesterday I saw a very beautiful thing, tremendously beautiful thing. Somebody, I think, wrote to the Rebbe that they're sad. So the Rebbe said as follows: we know Mashiach is about to come. So we have to go to Mashiach with joy. So you can ask yourself a question: how am I going to go to Mashiach with joy? What is going to be my joy? And the answer is that knowing that every mitzvah you do is what's bringing Mashiach. And not only that, all the light that will come into the world has already come in. Because it says when you do a mitzvah, it's like you deposited money in the bank. So imagine a guy says, I'm very, very sad, I'm very poor. They're like, hey buddy, you just worked for 10 years. And in these 10 years, you built every single day, I don't know, you got deposited $1 million. You're the richest man that ever existed. So the guy will feel great. Okay, he doesn't have the access to the money now, but he knows that soon a safety deposit box will open and there'll be such amazing riches like he couldn't imagine. And the same thing is that every mitzvah, every bit of Torah, every time we beat the Yitzhak, we're sitting and think about all the Jews and everything we did. It says that there's the Yosef, the three treasures that Yosef buried. One was found by Korach, one was found by Haman, and the third will be given to the tzaddikim in the times of Mashiach. It says the biza of Gog and Magog, tremendous, just like we left Egypt, there was tremendous wealth that Hashem gave us, physical wealth and spiritual wealth. So also when we go into Mashiach, the amount of gifts and the physical and spiritual, we can't even imagine what's going to happen. The Baal Shem Tov speaks about this little prince, and he built himself a little sandcastle. He's very proud of a sandcastle. I'm just making the example a little bit different, but it was basically the same concept. And a minister walks by, he sees the castle, and he just maliciously knocks the castle over. So the kid is very upset. He runs to his tati, the king. He says, this minister, he's crying. So the father laughs. Why does he laugh? Because in his head, he knows that one day he's going to build him such a beautiful palace that this sandcastle is nothing. And sometimes I think to myself, how can Hashem handle Golus? How can he handle all the suffering? Because he knows the incredible wealth, spiritual and physical, that's going to come to us. So the little bit of suffering, a little bit of pain to get us to the gains and to get us to grow is all worth it, because he can tell. He knows the whole future. So this is the Tanya for today. Chayim v'levracha.